from Inside Wrestling Truth, and my guest today is Spazz. How you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
We're here at NWA Supreme. They got a show going on tonight, so we're going to talk a little wrestling with Spazz. First, tell me where you're from and what made you want to be a wrestler.
From the big metropolis of Hanover, Indiana. And I guess I'm watching it growing up all the time with my dad, my grandpa, my mom, taking me to the matches down at Louisville Gardens when they used to come up here to Madison, Hanover, Southwestern, where I graduated from. Kind of got me wanting to know what I wanted to do when I was a kid. I always did crazy stuff when I was a kid, jumping off of houses, all kinds of crap. That was fun.
Yeah. What actually made you want to get in the wrestling business?
I think it was when my mom and I we went out to a show at Southwestern and actually got to sit and talk to Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler was out there that night. He was in a match with Austin Idol. And then later that year decided to, went down to Louisville Gardens June of '88. And when he was the world champion, facing Austin Idol there, sitting ringside, third row back aisle seat, stuck my hand up for a high five. He gave me a high five, and he actually took the belt off and was jaw-jacking Austin Idol when I got to hold the belt. And right then it was like a fight. It was like, you know, this is what it's all about. You know, you want to be the best in the world.
What's your thoughts on the current state of the business right now?
Well, it's kind of mixed. I think a lot of us that were brought up in the business years ago, you know, we were taught respect, we were taught, you know, kayfabe, we were taught, you know, doing what we're asked to do, you know, not going to the promoter and saying, hey, you know, I don't want to do this because, you know, I want to do this and this. I don't want to go under this guy because I want to do this and this and this. You know, just general respect. It's like these green guys coming up, they have no respect, and they're entitled. They're you know, they're expecting everything handed to them. They're like, hey, you know, I expect this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I always feel. It goes right back to the whole respect, entitlement. We had to earn what we got. And, you know, I said a few weeks ago, talking with a man that's been in business for years, he said the same thing. The state of business changed. It's like these green guys are coming in, first match out of training, or first match, you know, after being in training for 2 or 3 months, they're ready for the main event. And personally, I hate main event. So.
What's been some of your favorite matches in your career?
Oh, definitely a standout match was working Rock Conway here in Madison back July 19th. It was just a few months after my mom died. I wish she could have been here to see that.
Right.
He was the world champion first time, and it was a great match. I had knee surgery 3 months before that, and I was back in the ring. And, had a great time. And, you know, teamed with Coco Beware years ago in North Vernon. I think it was like 2001. Teamed with him there in North Vernon. Just a lot of great matches. Going down to NWA main event down in Nashville, Tennessee, down in Murfreesboro, down there talking with Jeff Daniels, Tim Ernesto, Mike Porter.
Okay. What about favorite feud?
Oh, my favorite feud has to be Dream. I mean, on again, off again, 18 years, kicking the crap out of each other everywhere, turning around 6 months later, teaming together. Just, you know, that's been one of my favorites.
What about spraying mist on Draven's chest?
Ah! All right, I wrestled for the old Circle City 2000. I was the Cruiserweight champion, and we were in a 4-way scramble for the title. And Draven wore the, I always picked on him for the Jeff Jarrett ties, collar stripes. Well, as the original Dragon, I would take the mist and I would spray it on my opponent, get him in the face, and you know, right then it was a finish. Got in the back, and Greenwood walked up and he said, how did he get that lined up so perfectly? And Draven looked over and said, well, he's just a so, yeah, that was great because it stained him for 3 days, and he was training to be a store manager at a restaurant, and having to go into work looking like the Jolly Green Giant. I have to say that was one of my greatest ribs and one of my greatest accomplishments.
That's good stuff, dude.
No, I love it.
What about bloodiest match?
Oh, my bloodiest match? Oh, Lord, let's see. It would have to be Bellapalooza 2000 against Justin Sane, which is now Chris Caliber, and another guy at the time named Jack Manson. We wrapped the ring and everything and everyone in it in barbed wire. And we got gashed up really. I mean, it was great. That right there was probably one of my most bloody matches that I've ever had. And both these guys were bigger than me, went in. It was great. Never wrapped a referee in barbed wire before. We did that night.
It wasn't John Gray, was it?
No, it was Super Dave Oswald.
Okay. About worst injury. Excuse me.
That would be my shoulder injury from January 12th of last year. I had to have shoulder surgery in May of last year, and I was in the ring 10 days later.
Favorite companies?
Favorite companies? Now, I've got to say Madison, because it's a smaller town. Another one I have, it's actually close with some of the others. I did a show for IWA. Loved working with those guys. It's all right. UWA right now, the United States champion down there. A bunch of young guys. Mad respect. They show respect. And I have to say, I definitely miss the old Infinity Pro out there.
How did the name change from AWA to NWA Supreme?
Well, we were known as American Wrestling All-Stars Supreme. We actually stuck with the AWA logo after we were part of the American Wrestling Association, the Del Gano. And once that faded off, broke away, and Vince and Walter Rice to AWA and all that, and just shown that he did it purchasing years ago, we stuck with American Wrestling All-Stars. And then we had the opportunity to join the National Wrestling Alliance.
Okay. True friends and enemies in the wrestling business.
True friends and enemies. True friend, which was a true enemy, was J-Mo, Jesse Morris. We beat the snot out of each other for 5 months straight. 5 months. Everything from glass bottles to monitors, broke steel chair with a bad shoulder, busted my septum in the match, kicked me straight in the face. Along with Draven. Draven's been one of my worst enemies in the business. We don't see eye to eye, but outside, best friends.
Okay. Thoughts on hardcore wrestling? I know some people, they don't like it, some people do.
Well, I did hardcore for the first 8 years of my career, and I love it. It brings out something in people that a lot of people don't think they have. I mean, I'm sure people can get shots and they can go to the stitches, but going out and putting your body on the line and doing things that some of these fans really want to see. That's the one thing that drives a lot of hardcore. Personally, me hardcore, I still love it. 45 years old, I love it.
What's been some of your favorite AWA, when it was AWA Extreme, what were some of your favorite shows that happened here in this building?
Oh, let's see. Surviving the Steel is one of them.
Right.
For NWA Supreme, this will be our first year of actually doing it under the NWA banner. We packed the crowd. Great show. We're into it. You get anywhere between 8 to 10 competitors in the ring in a steel cage, and process of elimination. They can get down to where one year I started off, I've been in every one of the Surviving the Steels, and 15 years for it. And get in there. There's been times where I came in the only baby, and it's been 4 heels on one baby, and that's ass kicking galore right there. I mean, there's no way to get away from that. So that's been it. Actually, having Rob Conway here, Ricky Morton, getting some of the legends in here, like Ricky Morton, Superstar Bill Dundee, Bobo Rizzo Jr., getting them in here to school some of these young guys.
Right. Favorite town or city to work in?
Besides Madison, I have to say Jeffersonville. Or Nashville, Tennessee. I take that back. Nashville, Tennessee for Mike Porter and National Wrestling Alliance back in 98, 99, and 2000. Hotbed down there, Southern Wrestling, completely different than it is up here. Dothan, Alabama, Clearwater, Florida, Seminole, Florida. Mobile, Alabama with a promotion called XWR. That's where Kamal was at a lot.
Okay.
We'd go down there, down at the old convention center, back where you saw Continental Championship Wrestling from Dothan, Alabama. Great town, great place. Love wrestling in the South. Like I said, it's a whole different demeanor down there than it is up here. You don't see all the joking around. You don't see kayfabe being broken.
Yeah.
And
More serious.
a lot more serious. Yeah.
What about snuggest opponents?
Snuggest opponents. Wow, let's go with this. Draven for one, J-Mo for another. Yukon Mike, Matt Atreya. Matt Atreya. Feuded with him for 7 weeks straight here in Madison, packed the house every week. I don't know if I can say this or not, but we literally beat the hell out of each other. I mean, we literally, the night that I busted my shoulder up, I was to face him at Sable. And I did a match before that, busted my shoulder, and I told him, I said, we're still doing this match. And he said, no, the hell we are, your shoulder's busted. I said, don't be a pussy, just get out there and we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Turned out that I had a grade 3 AC separation, and they had to cut 1.5 inches of collarbone and tack all my muscles back together. And 10 days later, I was here teaming with Draven in the ring wrestling.
All right, let's talk about some big, major companies. I don't know if you keep up with the current product. Okay. First one, let's talk about Ring of Honor. They just got a TV deal, but what's your thoughts on Ring of Honor?
Ring of Honor, they turn out a lot of great talent. Let's look at Samoa Joe. Let's look at Bryan Danielson. Let's look at AJ Styles now. Let's take a look at Chris Hero. Let's take a look at Jimmy Jacobs. Great. I think they have the potential to go far. I think that they can be the next competitor with WWE. NXT, Florida Championship Wrestling, when it was owned by Steve Kern, and then they turned it into developmental territory, then renamed it NXT for Next Generation of Stars. I think that, personally, in my opinion, I love watching any of the matches from NXT compared to any of the Raw, SmackDown, main event, or Superstars.
I agree.
TNA, I hate to say it, I love TNA back in the day, but I figured that what had happened was, my honest opinion, was the Hogan Bischoff era. It was more of a push for them than it was for the company, money being thrown out. They just got in over their heads. They had the potential to go to great places when they had the excited ring, and they took it down. And they had the only part that they had unique was taking it.
Yeah. And the X Division is just not the same.
It's not the same.
It used to be awesome. WWE,
too much glam and sham for me. It's,
no.
if I want to watch, if I want to watch a soap opera with more talking, and, well, actually, most soap operas lately have more action than WWE is. WWE, I feel that what they're doing is they're just keeping the same guys in the same spotlight, and they're not wanting to push up the new guys like Neville, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen. To me, and my honest opinion, he's got one of the best things going for him is he has sheer drive and determination. He wants to prove that he can do this in the big league, but still have the small league mentality.
Right.
Know where he came from.
What's your favorite moment in your career?
Favorite moment in my career? Let's see. Probably when Yukon Mike and I won the Mid-America Tag Titles for NWA down in Lebanon, Tennessee. We beat the Heartbreakers, and we feuded with them for 3 months. And due to a technicality of pinning the wrong guy, we actually dropped the belts. I had to give them back. But that was one of my favorite moments.
Okay, April 1st, 2011, Indiana Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame.
That's true. I was inducted with Lonnie Lee, Lonnie Kincaid. We had another gentleman that was there, Dick the Bruiser, and it was a great honor. It was fun, being recognized. It made me feel like I'd gone where I'd been. I just recently was diagnosed as an insulin-resistant type 1.5 diabetic. Any point during the day, my sugars were running between 400 to 600. In the hospital several times. But at that point, I was in the hospital when I got out the day before, and made it there for that. Had a couple of young punks that came out, started putting their jaw, and me and Lonnie Lee had to put them in their place. And, that was a pretty moment.
Yeah, that's pretty cool because a lot of people that get that honor, What title has meant the most to you that you won?
What title has meant the most? I'm going to say the United States title in any promotion I've held in. AWA Supreme, UWA, PWA, IPW. I'm also a veteran. I was in the first Gulf War. That's how old I am. Yes, we did have automatic weapons, not slingshots. And just being able to represent the United States, it means a lot to me, especially when a company has that much faith in you to give you that chance.
All right, we're going to talk about some of your co-workers, and you just give me, your thoughts on them.
Okay.
First, we kind of covered him, but we can go over him again. Aaron Drake.
He's a dick, but at the same time, he has a great mind for business. I think that sometimes he gets caught up in his own ego, but, hey, who doesn't?
Texas Outlaw.
There again, big dick. Good guy, though. Keeping his shirt off his back. Got a lot of potential if he puts his head to it.
Mortimer Blankenship.
Fat dick. And, other than that, pretty good guy. I think that he's still a little bit of green under the gills to try to be giving advice on matches and what to do from there. But, hey, he's got to learn somewhere. So, and if I didn't mention fat dicks.
Billy Madden.
Oh boy, he's like a son to me. But at the same time, there's some different issues and different views to be taken. He's had a lot going on in his life, and it's starting to spill into our business and the sport that I love, the sport that I've been doing since I was 11 years old. I've got 2 Indiana State championships under my belt. I was in the 1984 World Olympics, Knoxville, Tennessee, AAU champion several times over, and just trying to get him to understand that you can't let personal life come into our business, our sport.
Right. You gotta leave it at home.
Yeah.
Ricky Morton.
Love Ricky Morton to death. Ricky Morton is probably one of my favorite guys to sit and talk to. And he lets you know this is how things work. This is how it needs to be done. He's great. Really.
Rob Conway.
Rob Conway, I have nothing but mad respect for him. After that match I had with him here, he gave me great props. He was even here back before an AWA Extreme show, and he wrestled J-Mo, and Rob had me get in the ring with him, and he told the fans here in Madison, there's nobody in Madison more extreme than Spazz, and that was a great compliment.
What about, I'm going to ask you about one guy. He's not on this list, but let's talk about Christian Skyfire. What's your thoughts on that guy?
It's on again, off. I mean, he's sort of like a lawyer. You can't tell when he's telling the truth. You know it's a lie every time he opens his mouth. I mean, if there's ever flies stuck around shit, it's him. I mean, he calls himself the one Christian Skyfire, and the reason he does is because he has that one tooth. And I don't even know if that's a tooth. I think it's a discolored chip. But he's coming here to Madison and ran his mouth, and me and J-Mo 2 weeks ago, you were here. We beat the living piss out of him. That's all it was. But, yeah. He wouldn't know the truth if he came up and introduced himself. But that's Skyfire.
What's the hardest thing about teaching the young guys?
Letting them know that things come in time. They can't automatically come to one training session and think, oh my God, I get the spotlight. I want to be main event. Everyone thinks that main event is the best part of the show. In my opinion, I'd much rather curtain jerk. And the reason I would is because it sets the pace for the show. And everybody has to keep up with it. But these new guys, teach them respect, keeping kayfabe, not going out and, saying, hey Josh, this is what I learned today. Let me show you this and this. And,
Right.
Screwing it up, someone getting hurt.
Yeah, no doubt. Favorite rib?
Favorite rib. Let's see. There's been several. A lot of them. Pissing in Robert Brown's Ziploc bag with his elbows in it and leaving it in a hot, stinky locker room until he came back the next week. Put him on and tried to figure out why he smelled like piss. Let me see. Taking Billy Madden's clothes and drenching them and shoving them in the freezer. And after the show, he'd go looking for them, and there they were, frozen. Yeah, those are probably two.
Okay. What do you love and hate the most about the business?
I love the business because it's where my heart is. There's nothing I wouldn't do. Like I said, injuries, surgeries back in the ring, and time before the doctors wouldn't even think I would be. I have such a love and compassion for this business. It's not important. And the thing I hate about it is just the breaking the cage. If the fans, if you're the heel and you're sitting out here and you're hugging and kissing on your girlfriend, a fan walks down the hallway and you look up at it and say, hey, let's go, man. You just shot whatever you did in the ring all day.
Yeah.
You have to keep it real and respect. I hate the fact that we don't have it anymore. You would much rather have guys disrespecting people instead of trying to help them or go to them with personal heat instead of, now social media is like, it's like the herpes of all mankind. It's like the syphilis. It's it.
Okay, most heat or most heated angle that you have been in? Or?
The most heated angle I've been in has to be with Drake. On a show, he came out of nowhere, busted my head wide open, and did it right in front of my family, and threw fire in my face 2 weeks in a row. But his wife got all ass hurt, like somebody slipped out and hit the tank, because I told the fans I was going to whip that son of a bitch's ass. And I told her to sit down and shut up. She said it's a family-friendly show, and I said, yeah, I agree it's a family-friendly show, but here's the problem. You're saying that your husband lightened me up 2 weeks in a row in front of my daughter, my 10-year-old daughter, is family-friendly?
Right.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered when you quit, when you retire?
I want to be remembered as the guy that never gave up. John Cena, great guy, great friend to us, but I want to be known as the guy that no matter what, kept going and did it till he no longer could. That's a promise that I made to my mom on my mom and dad's anniversary the week before she died. And Bobo was there, and she said, promise me that he will not give up on our dream until he can no longer do it.
Okay. A couple of days ago, we lost one of the greatest wrestlers ever. What's your favorite Dusty Rhodes memory?
Feuding with the Road Warriors.
Okay.
When he broke away from the Road Warriors, and he had to feud with them, and anything that had to do with the Four Horsemen.
Man. Okay.
Television champion, United States champion when he won it from Lex Luger. Phenomenal.
In closing, I appreciate you doing this interview. Is there anything else you would like to tell the fans, or how people can get hold of you, or anything like that?
Fans can hit me up on the NWA Supreme Facebook page at facebook.com/NWA Supreme or AWA Extreme, same. Personal Facebook page. It's also my fan page. Giving it out to the fans. Kids, anybody seeing this, don't do what we do, we're trained to do. It'll save a lot of heartache and time, and it'll also keep your moms from going into an early grave. Dads, not so much. But Josh, I do appreciate you taking time to interview no goat like me.
Thanks, man.
Now, if not, I get to go kick the shit out of a young guy.
Yeah, don't do it, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.